Welcome to the CompTIA A+ Prepcast presented by baremetalcyber.com. The Transmission Control Protocol and the User Datagram Protocol are both core transport layer protocols used to manage data delivery between devices in a network. Operating at Layer 4 of the OSI model, they provide distinct approaches to sending and receiving data across systems. TCP is known for its reliability, while UDP is recognized for its speed. Understanding these two protocols is critical for CompTIA A+ certification, especially when it comes to identifying use cases, analyzing network behavior, and selecting appropriate protocol configurations during troubleshooting. TCP, or Transmission Control Protocol, is a connection-oriented protocol. This means that it requires a session to be established between devices before any meaningful data can be transferred. Establishing this connection involves coordination between endpoints to ensure both are prepared to send and receive data. TCP also provides reliability mechanisms such as error checking and flow control, ensuring that data is transmitted accurately and in the correct order. The trade-off is that TCP introduces more overhead, which may result in slower performance compared to simpler protocols like UDP. At the heart of TCP's connection-oriented approach is the three-way handshake process. This handshake involves three distinct steps. The sender first sends a SYN, synchronize message. The receiver responds with a SYN-ACK, synchronize acknowledge. And the sender completes the process by sending an ACK acknowledge message. This ensures that both parties are synchronized and ready to communicate. Without this handshake, there would be no guarantee that the receiving end is prepared to handle incoming traffic, which could lead to data loss or miscommunication. Once a session is established, TCP ensures data reliability through mechanisms such as sequencing and acknowledgements. Every packet transmitted includes a sequence number, allowing the receiver to reassemble packets in the correct order. If a packet is lost or corrupted during transmission, TCP detects the issue and initiates retransmission of that specific segment. This guarantees the integrity and completeness of the data received, making TCP the preferred choice for applications where lossless communication is critical, such as file transfers or emails. Many common network services rely on TCP due to its reliability. Protocols like HTTP and HTTPS use TCP to ensure web pages are loaded completely and accurately. File Transfer Protocol (FTP), Secure Shell (SSH), and email services like SMTP and IMAP also depend on TCP to guarantee that their data reaches its destination intact. In the CompTIA A+ exam, you may encounter scenarios asking you to identify which transport protocol is used by a specific service or to explain why TCP is preferred in certain use cases. UDP, or User Datagram Protocol, is a connectionless protocol. Unlike TCP, it sends data without establishing a formal session. There are no acknowledgements, no retransmissions, and no sequence numbers. This means that once data is sent, there is no built-in guarantee that it will arrive in the correct order. However, this simplicity also results in faster transmission and lower resource usage. UDP is useful in scenarios where speed is more important than accuracy, or where minor data loss is acceptable. Because UDP does not wait for acknowledgements or retransmissions, it is ideal for time-sensitive applications. Services like video streaming, voice over IP, and online gaming benefit from UDP's ability to deliver data quickly, even if some packets are dropped. In these contexts, retransmitting lost packets would cause noticeable delays or disruption. By accepting minor losses, UDP allows these services to maintain continuous playback and real-time responsiveness, which would be difficult to achieve with TCP. Several common network services are built on top of UDP. These include Domain Name System (DNS) queries, which need rapid responses, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol (DHCP), which broadcasts address assignments, Simple Network Management Protocol (SNMP) for monitoring devices, and real-time applications like VoIP. Each of these services benefits from the speed and efficiency that UDP offers, especially when broadcasting or multicasting data where reliability mechanisms would slow communication. TCP and UDP differ significantly in packet structure, particularly in the transport layer header fields. TCP packets contain more overhead due to fields required for sequence numbers, acknowledgements, flags, and flow control. This added structure enables features like guaranteed delivery and connection management. In contrast, UDP packets have a much simpler header with just the essentials: source port, destination port, length, and checksum. The smaller header makes UDP more efficient, but it also means fewer built-in safeguards. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. In both TCP and UDP communication, port numbers are used to identify the intended service or application on the receiving device. Each protocol maintains its own set of ports, and while some port numbers overlap, their function depends on the protocol in use. For instance, port 53 can be used by both TCP and UDP for DNS, depending on whether a reliable connection is needed. The port number ensures that the incoming data is routed to the correct application or service on the host machine, making port identification an important skill for technicians. TCP includes flow control and congestion avoidance features that make it adaptable to varying network conditions. One method it uses is the sliding window, which determines how many bytes can be sent before requiring an acknowledgement. TCP also employs congestion algorithms to detect and react to packet loss or delays, slowing transmission rates to prevent overloading the network or the receiving system. These techniques make TCP more reliable, particularly on congested or lossy networks, but they also contribute to its overhead. UDP's ability to support broadcasting and multicasting makes it suitable for scenarios where data must be sent to multiple devices simultaneously. With broadcast, a single message is delivered to all hosts on a local network segment. With multicast, the message is sent to a defined group of devices subscribed to a specific multicast address. This functionality is used in protocols like DHCP and in services like IPTV, where large numbers of recipients benefit from a single data stream. These capabilities are not available in the same form with TCP. When comparing TCP and UDP, the choice between them depends largely on the needs of the application. TCP is preferred when data integrity and order are crucial, such as during file transfers, sending emails, or viewing secure websites. UDP is better suited to applications that require speed and can tolerate minor data loss, such as DNS queries, real-time voice or video calls, and online gaming. On the A+ exam, candidates should be prepared to recommend a protocol based on the application's demands for speed or reliability. From a security and network management perspective, TCP is often easier to monitor and manage with firewalls and NAT devices. Firewalls can track active TCP sessions using the handshake and teardown processes, making it easier to apply access rules and detect anomalies. UDP, being stateless and less structured, is more prone to spoofing and may be blocked by default in restrictive environments. Network address translation also handles TCP more predictably, whereas UDP may require additional configuration for proper routing. Troubleshooting TCP and UDP-related issues involves different considerations. TCP-related problems often involve dropped connections, slow response times, or repeated retransmissions. Tools like Wireshark can show TCP flags, sequence numbers, and handshake details to identify session-related issues. UDP problems usually manifest as one-way audio, missing packets, or failure to receive broadcast messages. Since UDP lacks acknowledgements, diagnosing these issues may require analyzing timing, packet loss, or checking for blocked ports. The A+ exam may present scenarios that test your ability to distinguish between TCP and UDP in practice. This could involve matching a protocol to a specific application or interpreting a packet capture to determine which transport protocol is in use. Candidates should also understand when to recommend one protocol over the other based on the context, whether it involves file accuracy, real-time responsiveness, or service behavior under limited bandwidth conditions. On many systems, the protocol used for communication is selected at the application or software level. Most applications are designed to use one specific protocol, but some may switch between TCP and UDP depending on performance or service requirements. For example, DNS primarily uses UDP but switches to TCP for large transfers. Configuration settings within software or device drivers may also allow administrators to specify which protocol should be used under different circumstances. When evaluating performance and security, TCP's structured nature supports detailed monitoring, intrusion detection, and logging. It also provides built-in reliability, which is helpful for environments where data consistency is crucial. UDP, while more efficient, lacks those controls and requires external security measures to prevent misuse. Network administrators must ensure that UDP-based applications are properly secured through firewalls, access control lists, and traffic filtering rules. To summarize, TCP and UDP each offer distinct advantages and limitations. TCP is connection-oriented, ensuring reliable, ordered data delivery, but at the cost of speed and increased overhead. UDP is connectionless, fast, and efficient, but lacks built-in mechanisms for ensuring reliability. Choosing the right protocol depends on the needs of the application, and CompTIA A+ candidates must be able to analyze use cases and apply this knowledge effectively during configuration and troubleshooting tasks. Thank you for listening. Please visit baremetalcyber.com for more cybersecurity information, podcasts, books, and more.